Hi, I'm Lauren Ireland. I'm the co-founder of Summer Fridays, and I'm so excited to share my lessons and my journey and how we've created Summer Fridays. We are about to turn 5 years old, and my co-founder Marianna and I are now in this place of being able to look back and really see what we felt we did the best, lessons that we wish we had known then, and things along the way that we think will be helpful for you to know. Summer Fridays is all about ease, escapism, and creating time for yourself. I do think there's space for new brands, and I think what's been really special over the last few years is we've actually seen a lot of new beauty brands be created, and I think that there's always space for new brands when you have a positioning and a brand story and ingredients that you feel are really unique and that are really special to you and your brand. When we were creating Summer Fridays, we had been told by people within the industry that maybe a hydrating mask wasn't necessarily the most special or the most new, but we felt so passionate about the product that we were creating, and we knew that we were creating it in a way that was unique to us and unique to our brand, and that it would be within a brand story that felt so personal to us. I don't think that either one of us necessarily knew that we would have a business or that we would have a beauty business, but I know I keep kind of talking about this idea of intuition, but we did always have a really strong gut feeling about the product, about Jet Lag Mask in the beginning, about our brand story, about a space in the beauty market that we felt like we could fulfill in a way that was very personal to us. When Marianne and I initially had the idea for what is now Jet Lag Mask, we didn't necessarily know that it would become exactly what it is today. And so it really did start as a conversation and an idea of something that we wished that we had had for ourselves. And we were quite literally at lunch, I think it was on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday we were already making phone calls into different labs and different people that we could work with. The gap for us was very personal. So at the time that we had the idea for Summer Fridays, I was early pregnant with my son, who's now 5.5. I was about 8 weeks pregnant when we initially sat down and had the idea. Marianna was also traveling constantly and working with a number of different brands and always felt exhausted. And so we both kind of collectively had this idea of wanting something that made us look less sleepy than we actually felt. And I also wanted products and ingredients that I could feel good about using and putting on my body and onto my skin. And so we were kind of talking, and I was in this process of throwing everything away in my beauty cabinet, and the idea for creating a brand that had ingredients that we felt really good about using, but also that had a brand story and a brand positioning that really resonated with us. We didn't necessarily worry about doing every step on day one, and I think oftentimes when you have an idea of wanting to start something, whether it's a business or a podcast or anything personal that you want to do, start a new job, whatever it might be, it can feel really daunting if you think about all of the steps at once. And oftentimes that can feel quite paralyzing, whereas if you break it down and you do everything one step at a time, it feels much more feasible and much more doable. And so that's exactly what we did. From the idea to when we actually launched was about a 2-year process. First step was trying to find a lab, and we knew that we couldn't do anything without a product and without knowing that we felt really confident about launching a product. And so we spent several weeks calling different labs, quite literally Googling what labs were close to us. We live in Los Angeles, and eventually we found the lab that would work with us and work with not even a company at the time, that would work with just Marianna and myself, and we started working on the product. So we formulated three to four products at once, and then we of course launched with the Jet Lag Mask. But I really think breaking it down into steps is what's most helpful. And so once we had a product, then we started reaching out to different people who could help us on the operations end. We started looking into creating our brand story and working with different agencies and helping us to do that. But we really did everything one step at a time, and it allowed us to more feasibly create the brand one bit at a time. Definitely doesn't have to be perfect. And I think had we focused on being perfect, we probably would have never launched because you obviously have a vision for what you want something to be, but there's also just starting to do it. I think oftentimes we all sort of have this natural tendency of feeling like we can't do something because maybe we're not experienced enough or we don't know enough, or why can we do this if we don't necessarily have that background? And I think if you can really just listen deep into your intuition, if you feel really strongly about something, more often than not, you're correct. Only you know yourself the best. And so we really tried to look at creating our brand that way. Well, I think great customers make good founders, because we know what we like and what we like to shop for. And Marianna and myself, we have tried so many different products. And so I think we always sort of had this like natural connection into not only what we wanted, but also into what our communities wanted. We both had backgrounds as creators and influencers first in different ways, but we felt really connected to our community and to a lot of the people that are now our customers and our consumers. And so we had a good idea of what they were wanting based on feedback that we would get in sharing other things. We would get asked a lot of the same questions about ingredients that were in something, if something was vegan and cruelty-free, and if they could use it while pregnant, and a lot of the same questions that kept arising. And so we were able to take a lot of the early guesswork out of it. And then even now, that's such a huge part of product development and a huge part of our business and our brand is asking our community what they want. And you'll see us do polls quite often on Instagram and ask questions on social and try to get feedback from our community on what they're wanting and what's really important to them. In the very beginning, our version of success was finding a lab that we could work with, and then it was finding packaging that we felt really passionate about. And so every kind of step, it's been, there's been a different moment of what we have envisioned as a successful moment. I do think that for us, and something that we try to make a really conscious effort of, is to celebrate our small wins and our small successes. The journey is the destination, is what we always like to say. And so as we're going through this process, of course, there's always a next step and there's always more that you can be doing. There's always sort of this goal that's in mind, but we really view our day-to-day work and the day-to-day process as really the goal and the destination, because we're getting to do something that we love so much, and we don't want to feel like we're always waiting for the next best thing. So Marianna and myself have always had very similar long-term and short-term goals. Sometimes we would start with short-term goals, and so we would define what it would mean to be successful in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, in 6 months, and those were our short-term goals. And then we also like to define what does it mean for us to be successful in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. And so being very aligned on those goals allows us to operate and make decisions that always get us closer to that next step and to that goal. We have always been really intentional about our decisions and also about being very patient with some of those decisions. And so I think we've always had this idea of longevity and of taking our time and doing things right. So we always say to operate big before you're big. And so we made a lot of early decisions, making sure that things were done correctly, that we used the right ingredients, that we had things trademarked and copyrighted. We made sure to do that before we were actually big. So that way, when opportunities came, we were prepared and we were ready. It is true, as your company grows and as your business grows, you have less and less time to just be alone, to think, to be inspired by an environment that you're in, to be inspired by traveling. And so when we were first starting, I think we had more just natural gaps in our lives and in our days to sort of feel inspired. And now we almost have to sort of push ourselves to take that time to do nothing. Oftentimes doing nothing can really inspire creativity. Also when we're traveling, to really push ourselves to be super aware and to be super present, because oftentimes that inspires ideas. When we're with our community, we always try to listen, even in moments that you may not necessarily think an idea may come from. Community has been everything to us since day one. It still is everything to us. It obviously is what allowed us to start a brand from the start. It's our community that has been the most loyal, the most supportive, and obviously they're also the ones buying the products. And so they're such a pivotal part of everything we do. And it's also why we are very open and exciting and willing to make changes to something if it's not working, or if someone is craving something different. How can we improve? What other products can we create that fill a gap in someone's routine. So over the last 5 years, obviously so much has evolved within not only our own company, but within the industry as a whole, and what really feels like is important. And also even certain things in the very beginning that felt more unique to us that now a lot of brands are able to do in the best ways, in terms of having clean ingredients and having ingredients that feel better for you, sustainable packaging. I mean, a lot of those things now, as new brands come in, are becoming more of what we're seeing. And so that it also challenges us to really kind of look more deeply into what is our brand purpose, and what kind of feeling do we give, and what does that evoke when you're using our products, and when you're picking up Jet Lag Mask or our vitamin C serum or Dream Oasis or putting on lip butter balm, what feeling is connected to that? So we think about that often, because we want there to be sort of this synonymous feeling of self-care and feeling like you're escaping someplace far away in the best way, even if you're just putting something on from your bathroom. I'm excited about new brands that are being created. I'm excited about new ways that we are seeing and experiencing product. I think as both of us coming from the creative space, and as creators originally, and even before that, when we were hosting, and there was just always this love for sharing that we both felt, and that really inspired us to also create our brand. And so we're always very inspired by the new ways that people are sharing content, by sharing things that they love, that they're inspired by. And I think with beauty in particular, there's been such a special evolution in that, of really getting even more and more personal, and seeing how people are filming themselves in their bathroom and trying new products. And you just get this sense of realism and rawness in people's day-to-day lives, which I think has been such a cool evolution over the last several years, and particularly over the last couple of years, that we've seen a shift in. So I'm excited about that in the beauty space. I'm excited that ingredients keep getting better. I think packaging is getting better. We always want new packaging ideas, and so I think there's things that are always improving and evolving, and I'm excited to see where our own brand can push ourselves, and then to also see what other brands are doing, and most importantly, to see how our communities are using our products and using their other favorite products. And that's one of the most exciting parts in beauty for us. Really pause and enjoy the big moments and the small moments. It is so important. It will go so fast, and if I could go back and tell myself that, as much as I've tried to be really present in the process, I would really like to go back and tell Lauren in 2016, when we were originally creating the idea, to really take it all in, and to indulge in every part of the process, even a lot of those really early days that were long and hard and questionable, and to really know that that is such a beautiful part of the process. I always tell people to not wait until they feel too experienced to do something. There really is something so special about not knowing too much, and doing something from your gut, from your intuition, doing something that you feel so intuitive about, and to hang on to the magic of that. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I hope that you feel inspired to start your dream product, your dream career, whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. I love seeing other people create what they are passionate about. There is always space, and there is always room. So I hope that you feel encouraged and motivated to create your dream life.